The concept of good and evil in One Piece and why it is a spectrum. Just because as an institution the navies are under the world government doesn't mean everybody that is in the institution, that is the Marines, is evil. Evil is an intent. If you are intending to do something harmful or immoral, you are being evil. Somebody who steals for money and power and to put others down would definitely be evil. Somebody who's a victim of their circumstances that only steal so that they can live is not doing that out of evil. They're doing that out of necessity. Both characters have stolen, but only one would be considered evil. The same thing can be applied to the Marines as well. Yes, you have Marines like Sengoku that will cover up things with the lies as Fleet Admiral, give orders to do things that he knows are not good things, and we are not saying that the Marines as they stand now are good overall. They're not. They need a rework. We are all on the same page there. But to say that all Marines are evil would be saying someone like X-Drake is on the same level as Sengoku. Where X-Drake literally fought against world government agents in Cypherpole to make sure they didn't do their job because he didn't believe in the justice they were doing. That's a pretty good Marine. But then there are some Marines that are way more complex than that. People like Kizaru, who's on Egghead enacting all of this stuff as an order, even though we don't know why he's doing it or what collateral the world government might have on him. However, despite doing these orders, he does not kill any of these people like Sentomaru, even though he could have. One minute he can fight Luffy because that's what he's ordered to do to get to Vegapunk, but then after he sees that he wants to save his best friend, when Luffy loses his stamina, he'll use his light speed to even go against his superior's wishes to feed him so he can get back up and save the people that he wants to save. Now you could ask yourself, why not do it yourself? I don't know. You gotta ask him or wait till Oda makes his backstory present because we still don't know everything about Kizaru. What we do know is despite the fact he's taking orders from Saturn, he does not want to do it. Not only that, he'll actively make it as hard as possible for those orders to get done. Even characters like Doll, after Saturn said just do the Buster Call and start wiping out Egghead, she's like, wait, really? And when Kizaru says just go and do it, you see her sweating like, oh, yes sir. You even see like the little mark right there to show that she is surprised by this action. Now, in a perfect world, she would be like, no, I'm not gonna do that order, that's evil. And then these two would like try to work together to take down Saturn, but we don't know what that outcome looks like. They don't know what that outcome looks like, and they know less information than we do, because remember, as a reader, we have hindsight that they do not. We know at the top of the world they are all demons, but the characters in One Piece, they do not. It's safe to say that 99% of the Marines don't know who the Gorosei are or what the Holy Knights are. Even with all the resources and information that Sabo has as the second commander-in-chief of the Revolutionary Army, even he didn't know that there were demons at the top of the world. So just keep in mind, as a reader, we do have that hindsight. Then you have this guy who seems to be more blindly following the orders, but at the same time, he's just doing it out of fear the same way those guys are. Am I saying that's right? No, but a lot of these people, when they signed up to the Marines, did not sign up for this. But when you sign up for something like this after the fact, you can't just leave. It's like a mafia. If you join the mafia and it's like, oh, I'm in too deep now. You know what? I should probably get myself out of here. You think the boss just gonna let you do that? And again, I'm not saying this is a good thing. At the end of the day, this institution serves the celestial dragons. But this system was made 800 years ago by demons. I really don't think these guys had a chance. This is kind of the nuance I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Because when I read the story, these are the things I'm thinking about. To us, the reader with hindsight, we understand these guys are about to shoot a 12-year-old girl because she is here trying to save her father. But all these Marines know is that is a notorious 20-year-old something pirate that beats up old people and children. Propaganda is one of the most basic forms of brainwashing, but to this day, in the One Piece world and our own, it is effective. Even somebody like Bluegrass is outside of Egghead just thinking to herself, I can't wait to free all those captured Cypherpole agents. She has no idea what's coming later though. There's a spectrum here. Not everybody has the same information. Not everybody is keyed in to the same clues that you and I are. To the ones like Kizaru who do know more, we don't know everything that he knows as to why he is still following their orders. Is he doing it to make sure that the people that he cares about don't get killed off or something? Because as we know, that celestial dragons will kill off anybody that gets in their way, including other celestial dragons. Another reason why I don't like the entire narrative of like one side being all evil, because the whole point of One Piece is to showcase that these characters can change. And for that, Mjolnir is probably the perfect example, because when he was introduced, he was a very terrible person. Obviously, he was a basic celestial dragon. But after meeting Princess Otahime, he changed his ways for the better and ended up being the one to save the mermaid princess, and then Garp escorted her back to Fishman Island. And for that action, he was killed. Another good celestial dragon, Rosinante, and we all love him. So I know One Piece is a long story, but you gotta remember to go back and remember these finer details. It is a matter of reading comprehension, and I know Oda wants y'all to get that, and I do too. I'm tired of having this conversation. Would it be a good thing for Kobe to bring back Boa to the world government? Absolutely not. Does he know that though? Absolutely not. This is the spectrum and nuance I need you guys to understand. There are even doctors out here that will give you a prescription that will purposely have you coming back to get another prescription so they can make more money. And while the people at the top might know that, the doctor that's giving you the prescription, he doesn't, but he's enacting that same evil. I wouldn't call that guy evil, but the person in charge, I would call them evil. And I think the best way for me to explain this to you would be through Morpheus from The Matrix, because that is probably the best breakdown of what it is I'm trying to explain to you.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight to protect it.
The Marines in One Piece are no different. That's why Kizaru says that he's a cog in the machine. We saw the perfect example of this dating all the way back to Captain Axehand Morgan. Much like how we see the Gorosei commanding the Marines right now through fear, he was commanding the Marines way back when doing the exact same thing. Commanding everybody to shoot themselves in the head, and out of fear, guess what? They were about to do it. It's not just following the evil orders coming from above that they don't know anything about. Even when they're scared of somebody like this, they're willing to do this to themselves. Even somebody like Kobe who wants to be a Marine is like, yo, Luffy, destroy this lousy Navy. These are lousy Navy men. Then when Zoro takes down Captain Axehand Morgan, what happens to the people? They no longer fight Luffy, Zoro, and Kobe because they're like, we never wanted to do that in the first place. We're free of that guy. Morgan was the system, and now with that system broken, they're no longer doing the orders that would have them trying to lock this guy up. They even said, we're going to go against our orders and not report you to the Marines because we have that much gratitude for you. Keep in mind, this is a Marine. Same as Axehand, same as Sentomaru, and the same as Kizaru. Even Captain Axehand Morgan has nuance because he's only the way that he is due to Captain Kuro. So once you start to see more of these characters and see the context of their backstory, you start to see the blurry line between good and evil and how it is a spectrum. None of this is to say Captain Axehand Morgan is good or would have been good if this didn't happen to him. But this is to show that even though he was victimizing other Marines, he himself was a victim too. That's how you should be looking at the world of One Piece. It is a world of victims and people that are doing terrible things to other people without even knowing fully why. People do that in the day-to-day, and we understand that as hurt people hurting people. The hurt person isn't trying to hurt you, but they did end up causing harm. I'm not going to say that that person that hurt me on accident was trying to do it out of malice if they just did it as like a trigger response. If I don't have the context and nuance to understand that, I might just say that that person's being a dick and treat them as such, but then that wouldn't be fair to them or me. So to wrap this all up, yes, at the very top of the pyramid, you basically have the devil who is Emu and the top demons, the Gorosei, that give all the orders to the people down below. But just because the people at the top of the pyramid are evil doesn't mean that everybody from top bottom is evil too. Doesn't mean that there are people in the middle that aren't somewhat leaning to one side over the other. They might only be doing terrible things because they're really trying to take care of people that they care about. They might be fighting under false pretenses and orders like Bluegrass. And some even actively completely defy the orders of the Celestial Dragons and their superiors like the Fleet Admiral. You got people from evil all the way to good in the Marines, and there might be more on the evil side, there might be more in the middle, there might be fewer on the good side, but it is a spectrum. This is the only thing I want to get you guys to understand, and it's a long video, so I really hope that y'all paid attention for it. Because I know y'all pissed me off before, so I was like calling y'all names and whatnot, and that's on me. I should be more mature because a lot of you guys are kids. But at the end of the day, it is a matter of reading comprehension. If you cannot understand this stuff in the story, then it might be too mature for you. Now, in the future, I'll do better about breaking down this stuff and not getting angry at the people that are pissing me off. But I also do want you guys to open your minds and think more about the things that you are consuming. I know somebody's probably going to comment down below, I don't care, all Marines are evil, but if even one of you now know to think a little bit deeper, then I think I did my job today.